name is Carole Ayers. Choctaw, Choctaw, Moma. My heart is all Choctaw. My grandmother was an original enrollee. She was not allowed to speak Choctaw. She was sent to a boarding school. I feel like when I do the walk, I've done it several years, and I feel like that I'm doing that to represent her and my family, and I feel like it's tremendously important for people to understand their heritage and their culture, and that's why I like to do that. I think people need to understand their heritage, and they need to be able to look back and look at the things that about their culture that they would like to preserve. The world is changing rapidly, and there are certain things that we can or can't have control over. But when we think about what our beliefs are, the things that we want to pass on to our children, the things we want known about our history, we need to embrace those and we need to study those. And if we don't teach our children, they won't be able to learn that. The Choctaw culture in Oklahoma is something that's been pretty quiet. It's been repressed up until the last few years. Now we have the chance to speak out, to speak our language, to revive our culture, to be the best things about our past that we want to preserve. And unless we try to do that, no one else will do it for us. We must be brave enough to speak up and do that today. It's very important. Oh, I definitely feel a connection with my people in the past that had to walk that. And I have thought a great deal about that in the last walk that I did, that I felt like, and I knew that had it been the real Trail of Tears, that I would have died on that trail. And I thought about my family members and how they would have had to go ahead and take their children and go ahead of me, or make the choice to stay with me. And that's a tremendous thing. Reading even about the story of the Trail of Tears and how those people suffered, how people wanted them to leave Mississippi, took their land because they knew they were going to get their land. And I thought about, well, how would I feel if someone came up to me today and said, you know, we want your home, we want your land that it sits on, and you can only pick out a few things that you can carry and walk all that way. What would you take, and how would you feel if you knew you were leaving everything you knew and loved, and that you might not make it? It's a tremendously, it's a life-changing thing. One year I wasn't able to finish. I got about a quarter of a mile away and I just couldn't finish. In the following year, I thought I'm going to finish this year. And having a lot of trouble with one of my legs in particular, I took my walker. And it turned out that even a man in a wheelchair with an umbrella on it passed me. And I was the last person with my walker, and I decided I was not going to quit. When I went, I thought, I'm going to finish this, no matter how long it takes. I had gone almost the whole way, and this was in Scullyville, where there were a lot of hills and everything, and so I'd stop and I'd look, and I'd say to the patrol officer, how much farther, how much farther? And so he said, you know, if you get up to that last hill, then there's a flat area, and that's the way down to the center, and it's not that far. I think it was about almost another mile. And I thought, if I could just get up that last hill, then I can get on this flat area and it'll be better. And a patrol car came along, and the doors opened, and 5 people got out that had come up to Scullyville. Now, I had been told that all the buses had gone, and they had told me that my bus was ready to leave, and I said, I don't know how I'm going to get home, but tell them just to go on. I'll find a ride home. I came to finish. So unbeknownst to me, my friends got out of the bus, and they were the last bus there, and they started walking backwards, and a patrol car came along and picked them up. Well, the doors opened, and they came out and said, we're going to walk the rest of the way with you. And it meant everything to me. It meant that these people were with me, and these people understood. And one of these ladies that came back had actually gotten sick and been taken to the medic and laid there for a while, and they finally released her, and she joined them and walked back again and was upset because she didn't make it the first time. And she said, I'll make it next year with you. So I started crying, and we all walked the last mile together. And I told him that I feel like there's a special bond with him now, because we were all Choctaw, and I felt like if it was real life, they would have come back and they would have saved me, you know. And that may seem silly to someone that knows it was just a walk for a day, but if you think about that, it's real life, and it's serious. And it shows you that if we support each other, we can do anything.